I'm sharing with you the editing techniques that keep viewers' attention. These are very basic techniques that are easy to master and can be done on any video editing software. They're worth learning because they will make the difference between success and failure for your videos. Today's audiences need to be engaged from the very start of each video, otherwise they will click off. Let's look at some of these in detail. Text works magic at keeping your viewers' attention focused on the video. We can't help but read whatever text appears on screen. Here are two ways to use text. The easiest way is to use captions. Many editing programs will make using captions easy by just a single click. Captions come in a variety of styles. The colors, font size, font types, etc. can be adjusted to even help brand your videos. But be warned, overuse of captions can lose their effect. As a rule of thumb, I would not suggest using captions more than 50% of the length of your video. Just use it for emphasis or when you can't find the right type of B-roll. Another way to use text is to just display a few keywords. Using them sparingly is the key. In fact, I strive to use them for about 5 to 10% of the length of my video and use captions for about 20 to 30%. I like using keywords to make transitions or introduce new concepts. Here's something that is often overlooked. Let's not forget about adding variety using a combination of still images and video. Video is the more engaging option, so we tend to naturally use it as much as possible. But still images, if used correctly, especially in combination with other special effects, can nicely complement video. The overall effect is more engaging than just video alone. The best video editors will tell you that the use of sound is highly underrated. Sound effects make a huge difference. They bring life to dull videos. Sound is another way to engage viewers. We can add sound effects to show the sounds that moving objects make. Notice how the sound makes the whole scene come more to life. We can also use sound to introduce new clips or even show transitions. Speaking of transitions, let's turn to how we can make transitions visually as well. Here are three very common editing cuts used to change scenes. The jump cut lets you jump around a scene to speed up time. This usually involves taking one long take, cutting it up, deleting some of the parts, then putting it all back together again as one long piece. The J cut leads into a new scene with sound from the new scene before the corresponding visual element arrives. This is a great way to segue into another scene and to gently prepare the audience. The opposite of the J cut is the L cut. Here we use the new scene, but continue to use the sound from the old scene for just a second or two before adding the sound of the new scene. Try this in scenes of two people talking. Once you have your scene, you should consider adding some movement to it to make it more engaging. Movement is similar to transitions, but we don't use it to move from one scene to the next. Rather, we use it to show movement within a single scene. It adds variety, it prevents boredom, and contributes to increasing engagement. Here are 4 movement techniques you can try. The first is the push-in. This is a simple concept of moving into a scene to see it more close up. It's called the Ken Burns effect in your video editing software. Check out this example. You can control how closely you want to move in and the speed at which it does so. Pull out is the opposite. This is when we have one section of the scene and we pull back the camera to reveal more of the scene. It's also called the Ken Burns effect on your video editing software, but you just reverse it. Again, the amount of the shot you want to reveal and the speed of the movement are totally up to you. Zoom is similar to push-in, but while push-in moves closer to the entire scene, zoom focuses only on one small area, usually a person or an object. It's a great technique to use to draw the viewer's attention to just one thing. Check this out. The pan shot is another movement where we travel from one end of the scene slowly to the opposite end. You often see this in movies and documentaries. That's transitions and movements done. Now it's time to look at pop-ups. Pop-ups, you might be wondering, are still images that pop up on your screen. They're great if you lack A-roll and want to spice up some B-roll. While A-roll gives your video a sense of continuity and anchors everything together, you will lose that continuity if you rely solely on B-roll like I do. This is where pop-ups come to the rescue. They add the continuity you are missing. The most effective way to do this is with the person who pops up. This person is the narrator of your video. This is great if you don't want to show your face and you use the face and even body shot of someone else. Here are two ways to do it. First, use AI generated facial images. Second, use stock images of a particular person in multiple poses, facial expressions, and clothes. Another way to use pop ups is to use images or icons of the key concept of your videos as pop ups. If you have a particular branding style for them, and do this for all the key concepts introduced in your video, it could be a good way to introduce some continuity. This is easier said than done because many concepts will not lend themselves to an easy to recognize image. Now I'm going to let you on a little secret. Don't only have monologue in your video. Dialogue is much more engaging. Turn some of that monologue into a short dialogue. Nothing makes a video more boring as quickly as a long stream of monologue. Spice things up by turning some of that monologue into a dialogue. But wait, you say, you don't have any to talk to. Here are some nifty tricks to help you with that challenge. One way is to add characters to use either a role of yourself and another speaker or still images of yourself and another speaker. Both ways allow you to create an effective dialogue and break up the monotony of a long monologue. But the easiest way to liven up a monologue is to talk to yourself. There are loads of YouTubers doing it, and some very creatively. But here's a pro tip. When you talk to yourself, be sure to make one of the characters different from you. Not a hat, a pair of glasses, a wig, even a different set of clothes or accent. Better yet, add multiple elements to create a different you. Give the second you a different personality, body language, and accent. Ham it up. One of the worst things to do is to make both versions of you identical. Viewers appreciate you're working with a small budget, but they do want you to be creative. A very uncommon but clever way to do out dialogue is to have two objects speaking to each other like an egg and a frying pan. While being very creative, it can add a unique twist to your video, one that your audience will remember. Let's not forget something very important. We should mix A-roll and B-roll. Relying only on A-roll gets boring, while relying only on B-roll lacks the sense of continuity that anchors a good video. Far better to rely mainly on A-roll, but interject some B-roll to add variety. Before you go out there and apply these editing techniques to your introductions, watch this video where I share with you some powerful tips on how to structure your video's introduction.